What's going on, team? Good morning. This is Carlos, CEO of GAR Capital. Welcome aboard to our morning note. Happy Monday, May 11th, 2020. It is about 9 a.m. It's time to talk about the markets here. Let's see what we got this morning. So, a couple things, a couple of headlines. I'll go ahead and read them to you. As I said to our GAR news channel on Discord, looks like South Korea saw a spike in COVID cases. Saudi Arabia is looking to cut more output in crude. So that's where he shows well, crude was actually green. Bitcoin was bouncing off the lows. We were down -8%. Paul Tudor Jones right now is on CNBC talking that he has 1 to 2% of his assets in Bitcoin. Looks like we're ahead of the halving here. Let's see, the US dollar is catching a bit as well, about 0.38%, the index over 100. Bonds are basically flat currently. Gold, even though it is uh, a risk-off asset, is actually down 0.25% because the dollar is up. Futures down 271 on the Dow, off the lows. Nasdaq about doing better, down about 0.79%. E-mini futures at 28.95. We broke the 2900 level. Keep in mind, overnight, I remember I was watching it probably till midnight to 11 o'clock, and then I got up around 2:30 in the morning to see how London was opening. And I checked my phone. We were at 29.48 right around midnight-ish, 11, and then right at 2:30 in the morning, we got to break even. So that was just a big flush. Looks like Europe is selling the futures at their session, and I'll go ahead and tell you where we're at for Europe. Let's go ahead and start with Asia and how they did. Nikkei was up 1%. Again, mind you, they're closed ahead of Europe. Shanghai flat. HSI China, which is Hong Kong, up 1.53%. Even Australia was up about 1.3%. Again, Korea, Kospi was down 0.54% due to a jump in COVID cases in Korea. Europe, different story, all red. German DAX down 1.4%. The FTSE British FTSE 0.54% to the downside. French CAC down to almost 2%. That's where we are currently. I'll go ahead and give you the bond yields currently. US 10 year is actually up in bonds. The bond yields are actually up 0.683%. German bonds are still negative 0.511. Japanese 10 year is actually green 0.007. And the UK 10-year gilt note is at 0.258%. Let's take a look at some pre-market movers. I'll go ahead and move my browser so you can see. And what you're seeing is a rotation out of the fear trade, which Zero Hedge calls it, which is retail, leisure, hotels, and airlines. Those are the ones that have been kind of leading the rally as we get a bounce back, like with energy. But when things go down, they're the first ones to get sold. So this is where we are. Carnival's down about 3.38%. General Electric down 1%. Caesars Entertainment down 1.5%. That's Caesars Palace. American Airlines down 3%. Again, sub $10 again. United Airlines, they canceled their bond offering. Looks like the yield on that note was about to be 12%, but the bond auctioneers, or the bond people who wanted it, actually wanted a little more. So they canceled their bond offering, and it looks like they're going to be adding more equity share, meaning adding more stock, which will dilute current shareholders and should bring down stocks a little bit, but down about 4%. Norwegian Cruise Line, same thing, the cruising down 3%. Delta Airlines down 2.95%. Apple is down about 1%. Again, moves with the market, very low beta, and that's where we are with that. Looks like iPhone sales were down. We just had a note on it. I'll go ahead and read it to you guys. The exact note. I think it was Keynote that made a headline or had a headline on KeyBank, excuse me. iPhone sales down 77% April, and that's why they are down slightly. They should be down a little more, honestly, but that's where we are. Tesla's down about 2.8%. Again, they're a bigger part of the Nasdaq now. They are the largest domestic automaker, but they're technically a tech company. So when the Nasdaq is down, they're going to be falling too. The California stuff was going on about them leaving to either Nevada or Texas. The Twitter spat. Again, this is the same CEO that said that his stock price is too high, and we bounced back off that and still broke out. So I'm still bullish on Tesla. Wells Fargo breaking down again 1.3%. The financials have not participated in this rally, which is not a good sign as well. Ford Motor down 1.72, Boeing down 2% almost. Macy's down 1%. Under Armour just had their earnings report. I'll go ahead and read it to you. Let's see if I can bring it up here. You know what? I'll go ahead. Oh, I still had it here. Hold on. Yeah, Under Armour sales plummet 23% as coronavirus stalls turnaround plans. Now, I do like Under Armour, but if there's a play in retail that you want to kind of get into, it's more of apparel. I would say just stick with Nike and Lululemon. Under Armour has been underperforming even before COVID. So again, you could see adjusted loss of 34 cents a share on revenue of 930 million. Apparel sales dropped 23% to 598 million, while footwear revenue was down 28% to 210. Accessories down again, retail's just getting smoked with this COVID stuff. But Lululemon is outperforming. Nike's been kind of treading water. So Under Armour is a name you want to kind of stay away from. If you are looking to short it, I mean, I kind of would want to stay away from it. You may not get a good price on it. I would say break the lows of $8.09. Then you can start taking a look at buying some puts on Under Armour. That's what I'll be seeing moving forward. So that's where we are in regards to pre-market. And yeah, so a couple of names I'm looking at today. Tesla, obviously, we're still above the consolidation level, which is nice. We bounced really in that trend about 788. We're right around 800. We do have a gap to fill here on 817. If we could get that by Monday, that'd be great. Space is right around 19. This was purely the fall here. This big red level line was from the Richard Branson selling shares in his company for about $1 billion to raise capital. So that's where space is. Let me go ahead and move into my other charts here so you guys can see. AMD, interesting. Let's go ahead and put an alert here about 51.69. We know the drill. When it comes to markets going to the downside, the momentum names will be the first ones to take a hit. What are momentum names? Your Roku's, your Space, chip makers, which would be AMD, NVIDIA, and Micron. Those are the names you kind of want to look at to the downside when we are falling. AMAT, Applied Materials, does report on Friday. So if you're looking for a sympathy boost in regards to the chip makers, if they have a good one, it's going to wait till Friday. So again, it gives you an opportunity to take a look at an AMD, which is testing the 100-day moving average right around 51.74. If you break 51.74, and I'm going to go ahead and expand this sell, take a look at it, guys. About 52.08, sorry, on the 100-day. If you break that down, I have an alert at 51.69. If you break 51.69 down, let's go ahead and see if we could retest 49 or maybe 50, and you can go ahead and get a quick put there and maybe get some profit there. Take a look at IWM. That was a name that I was actually looking to go long on. And of course, this kind of market flush, but we are bouncing back. We were down as much as 300 points in the Dow. Now we're down 253. You could see that support level right around there. You see this point here, right here. This support level right around 129.82. Let's go ahead, you and I together, go and put an alert at below that. And then if you do break that, then you want to go and see if you could test that 100-day and 200-day crossover here about 128.60-ish. I like those kind of crossovers because it kind of shows a break of trend. So again, if you break below that, we may get some more puts there. If you stay above that, then that's really a good sign as the moving averages continue to go up based on your price currently on the 1 hour. Apple, Apple, of course, I own shares. I think mostly everyone does. Again, trend is holding up beautifully, guys. You're going to get some sneezes here and there, but again, I don't see any reason why Apple should not retake 312. And if you want to go ahead and look even farther out, 327 is your all-time high. 312.91 is actually the gap fill on the daily, and I do think we get there. And I actually think we get there this week. So again, if you have Apple, I would definitely hold on to it. Let's go ahead and take a look at one more for the road before I start answering questions. QQQ. I am bullish on tech, as you know. And you can see basically still holding another 100-day moving average. Let's stay above that 221 level, and then we should retake 226. Your all-time high on NASDAQ, if you're going to want to take a look at the daily, is your gap fill right around here, 229-ish, 229.50. So go ahead and place an alert at 229.57. That should be your level for a gap fill on the daily. You can see this gap and it should fill. We've had this before. Those are the levels you want to take a look at. Those are nice setups. If we break that gap fill to 29.57, basically all your tech companies, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, those are the kind of names you kind of want to write up because they're such a big part of the NASDAQ, including Tesla. So there you go. Let's see. Charles says, "Hey, good morning. Good morning." AMC action today. Oof, AMC is a tough one. Let's go ahead and look at that chart together. You're talking about the movie theater. Oh, it's brutal, guys. It's $4.10. I know they just jumped a little bit, but kind of would want to stay away here. Looks like we're kind of fading off that jump. I think we actually revert back down. These kind of levels that push up, they don't tend to hold, just so you know. So I think we get back to around $5.50. So that's where we are. Thoughts on Disney long term? I actually like Disney long term. I'm holding it. I was actually looking at some photos of the Shanghai opening of the Disney place, and it looks like the social distancing is looking pretty bad there. So again, I haven't learned at 110.50. If we break that, then I'll go ahead and probably add a couple of shares to my position. Maybe the worst may be over for Disney, but I do like it long term. But calls, I have to take a look. I like to see that level of 115. If we break 110.50, then the 115s, 114 should be a nice level to break for some calls. But we need to see how we open first on the market. Thoughts on Microsoft today? I talked about it today a little earlier. I said that if we do to continue to the break to the downside, 181.14 would be the level to break, and then you could see this little mini gap here to around 180. So you could probably take a look at the 180 puts. But if we continue to fade on Nasdaq, I think Microsoft will underperform because they've been outperforming across the board. So I think Microsoft would be the one to see the most weakness out of all the big cap tech. So take a look at that. 181.14 is your 100-day moving average. We broke the 50, the 200 days at 177. So 181 will be my first level to see. Thoughts on JD? JD is going to report on Friday. I don't play any other Chinese company but Alibaba. That's the only one I own. If you wanted to get into JD, again, ahead of earnings, their premium is going to be a little juiced. But if you do want to play some, go ahead and place an alert at 48.60, which is the recent high, and then you could take a look there. SPY actually had a call with our members today, and I said SPY. I went out of my way and said I think SPY hits 300 this week. I really do. I'm not saying get into any SPY 300 calls. I think we're going to get some continued bullish run here. It looks great across the board on the weekly and the daily. We'll bounce off that 100-day moving average on SPY. I'm still bullish this week, but again, I've been wrong before. Last week I was bearish, and we we had a hell of a run. So again, it really just depends on price action, guys. Etsy, I don't play Etsy, but I saw that they're continuing to the upside. Obviously, with this kind of COVID thing, what's going on? See if you get a break of 84 before you do anything. But I like the trend to the upside. Take a look at some calls, see what you can get out of it. Tesla, yeah, we talked about Tesla as well. We're seeing that nice little bounce here, 798.80 off the lows. Again, we're still above the breakout point, the previous one. So 788 was that level. We're $10 above it. We should fill that gap right here to around 817 in Tesla. Let's see. What about Roku and Square? A good value to buy now. I like Roku. I own it. I actually added to my position after earnings. So I do like it. Square, I do not own. But Square is okay. I'd rather you own PayPal if that's the case. Thoughts on AbbVie? Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about AbbVie. I don't trade it. I don't own it. But let me see if I can bring it up. AbbVie again is I believe the pharmaceutical. I think they're working on the uh, the the actual vaccine as well. So again, you could see just kind of treading water here. Just pretty much range bound. So not much there in regards to trading. AMC, we just talked about it. All right, guys. So we'll go and leave it at that. I'm gonna go get back with my guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for our morning note. Happy Tuesday. I mean, happy Monday. Hope you have a great Monday, and we'll catch you later.